Sometimes taking a step back in business is the best way forward. But how do you gain momentum when it's time to relaunch if you've been gone for so long? In today's video, I'm sharing insight and tips on how to successfully relaunch your business if it's currently on pause, and I'm going to give you an inside look at my personal relaunch process. So let's get into the video. A relaunch can need to happen in business for a number of reasons, especially if you're the only one running the show. Maybe you're ready for fresh energy and want to reposition your brand. Maybe you were never sure of who you served and you want to get super clear on your audience, or like me, maybe life hit really hard and the 1 to 2 month break you thought you would take ended up being about 6 months to a year. Nevertheless, if you're ready to come back into business with a bang, these tips will definitely ensure that you have a successful relaunch. So without further ado, here's tip number 1. Tip number 1, analyze your current position. You want to look at where you are currently in business. What worked in the past? What didn't work? Who are my customers? Who were they? And what do they need? Analyze where you are in business, how successful you were, your current position, and that's the number 1 thing you want to do. In this phase, when I sat down and analyzed my business, I realized that I was all over the place. I started off as a freelance consultant, then I wanted to make it a full-blown agency, and there were just so many things, and I was doing all the things, but was getting nowhere. So number 1, analyze your current position. Look at all your accomplishments, look at all your failures, and see where exactly you are. This will help you inform decisions on where we're going to go in business or where you want to go, what to do next, so on and so forth. Number 2, decide what stays and what goes. Based on your analysis of your current position, you're going to likely have some things that you really like, some things that worked well for your business, and some things that maybe need to go. Now, these things can be in regards to your mission statement maybe, or just your brand identity. Maybe you want a new logo, or maybe you want a new name. This is where the decision making needs to happen. What's going to stay the same about my brand? What's going to change completely? And this will be a very great indicator on 1, if you even need to relaunch, or 2, how strenuous or easy this relaunch process will be. For me, I decided that a name change was necessary because although I love my brand's name, The Kiera Nicole Way, I just felt like it doesn't encompass the digital marketing aspect of it. So there were a lot of things that I decided, okay, this needs to change. This needs to become a whole new component. Those were the things I had to sit down with and get really clear on what I wanted to continue to offer, what I wanted to change up, who I wanted to serve, and how I wanted to show up. The number 3 thing you're going to want to do when you're planning for a relaunch is to come up with a plan. At this part of the relaunch phase, you're going to be putting in the most work. If during your initial launch you created your business plan, your target audiences, your marketing plans, conducted your market research, then you are ahead of the game. So all this part of your planning phase will need to require is your coming back to market and re-engaging with your customers plan. You should come up with a plan to bring yourself back into the market, as well as a plan to re-engage some of your old clients or customers that you have maybe lost contact with, as this will be a great way to get your foot back in the door. Now, if you're on the other end of the spectrum and when you first initially launched, you just kind of created an Instagram page, maybe started posting about your business and went from there, you're going to want to start from the very beginning. You're going to want to create your business plan. You're going to want to get your market research done, look into your target audience, and get super specific on what it is that you offer that is unique to you, unique to your business, that is going to make you stand out from the many competitors that's probably in your field. Adding a plan to reach out to your old customers is also a good idea, even if you're on that other end of the spectrum. For me, my relaunch plan looked like me going to the beginning and creating all the foundational things. I had to get super specific and clear. Now, the good thing about it is I took a lot of notes. I wrote down a lot of ideas and a lot of visions that I just never made happen. So this part wasn't extremely hard. I will say the hardest part is probably getting clear on your target audience and conducting your market research. Now, these things are super hard, especially if you're an entrepreneur doing everything by yourself, but they're absolutely necessary if you want to set yourself apart in the market. So you've already analyzed your current position, where you were in business when you left off, where you would like to go. You've decided what should stay and what should go. And now you've created a plan. You come up with a plan to re-engage your old customers. You come up with a plan to come back into the market. And if you did not create those foundational documents and all of those things in the beginning, this is also the point where you create the marketing plans and the business plans and things of that sort. Number 4, you're going to want to set a realistic timetable. Yes, give yourself time, give yourself grace, because a relaunch is a very daunting process. You can either choose to do your relaunch process all at once or roll it out over time. Whichever option you choose, give yourself ample amount of time to complete each task. Also consider adding a week or 2 extra buffer time just in case things run over. The goal is to not end up in the same situation that caused you to take a step back in the first place. Most of us end up taking a step back because of burnout, improper planning, and things like that. This will ensure that planning is done correctly and in a timely manner that's suitable for you, as you're the one bringing this business back, and it keeps you in a right pace. For me, my timetable has been very long, and it's still long because I don't want to rush back into the business arena. I'm not ready to rush back into it. I'm coming back slowly and with my own pace, and these things take time. It's not an overnight process, so I just want you to give yourself a realistic timetable. Number 5 is to get outside perspective. Now, this tip I feel is one of the most helpful. This channel is for DIY entrepreneurs, meaning a lot of the things that are required of us, we do them on our own. We create our own content, we create our own websites, we are in charge of marketing, we're taking our brand photos, and we're doing these things to get off the ground. And so rarely do we have a chance to get outside perspective. This tip has drastically improved my mindset about business. So when I say get an outside perspective, I mean hire a professional, or not even hire. Look into finding a professional business mentor or advisor. This person should be someone who has successfully run their own business. Maybe they mentor other business women and men, and they just know what they're doing in their respective fields. One resource that really helped me is an organization called SCORE, SCORE. They have so many resources that I had no idea about, and Free Business Mentors is one of those resources. So if you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, the DMV, make sure you go check that out because it tremendously helped me. And my mentor is great. We've met about 3 to 4 times, and he's just been very helpful in making sure that I stay on track. So getting the outside perspective is definitely going to help you in your relaunch process. It's going to take some of the overwhelm away, and it'll set you up for greatness. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Number 6. Now it's time for implementation, the moment you've all been waiting for. After all your months of planning, it's time to go into action. It's time to actually go forward with the things you set in motion and step out on faith. At this phase, you're also, if you're like me, you're probably feeling a bit of imposter syndrome maybe. You might be feeling some doubt about coming back. You may be feeling uncertain about if this is the right step. But if you've made it this far in your relaunch process, there's no other choice but to take action. Now, the most important part in this phase is consistency. I know it's so repetitive, but being consistent is the thing that's going to set us apart this time. We already know what happened in the beginning. We fell off, whatever happened, happened. So now that we have created these plans to help us relaunch and help us relaunch effectively, what's going to set us apart? It's consistency. Make sure your relaunch plans include strategies to help you stay consistent, such as automation and even task outsourcing. Number 7, we made it to the end, and now it's time to analyze, adjust, and repeat. What worked with your relaunch process? What didn't work? What should we change? What should we update or upgrade? Once you relaunch, you may find that the audience that you got very specific on is in fact not the audience that you want to serve. So you might have to go back to the drawing board with that. Or you may decide that a product or service that you created is something that you may want to offer a different audience segment. There are plenty of things that you may find out during this relaunch process. So this is the place where we use our data and we let it work for us. Analyze, adjust, and repeat. So I shared some of my current process amongst these tips, and right now I'm in the phase of planning still. So I haven't moved on to implementation, but I did get a mentor to look at my outside perspective. But all in all, this process has been a completely fulfilling one. I will say that, to go to the bottom, to lose your business in a sense, to lose everything associated or attached to that business and have to start over from ground zero is not an easy process at all. But I'm super excited to be moving forward, and I'm super excited to be coming back into business with a bang. I'm ready. Now that you have some strategies to get started, let me know in the comments how you plan to relaunch your business and bring it back to life. I would genuinely love to hear what part of the relaunch phase you're on, what you're looking forward to in business this year, and if any of these strategies helped you at all. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.